Hello, my name is Ace, and welcome to the first entry of a new series I'd like to call Ace's Scholastica Diaries. So as of recording this, today is July 6th, which means we have less than a month before the school year officially kicks off. And for this year, our school year will start at August 3. That week is reserved for orientation week, and we also have this thing called recruitment week where you'll be introduced to the different organizations and clubs of the school, and that's also your opportunity as a freshman to mingle with the people in charge of each org, get to know what they do for each org, and that's also where you get to sign up for the organizations that you want to join. So since the school year hasn't kicked off yet, I decided that the first entry of this series is kind of like a freshman guide, or what SSC calls it, Froshie guide to upcoming SSC Manila students. So if you're planning to enroll into St. Scholastica's College, maybe you'll find this guide, helpful. And don't worry, because a lot of the things that I will be discussing in this video will be discussed to you in more detail during orientation week. But, if you want to get ahead or be informed now, keep on watching. So first things first, the official name of the school is St. Scholastica's College, Manila. And that's an important distinction to make because there are schools with similar names. There's St. Scholastica's Academy in Marikina, and there's also St. Scholastica's College in West Grove, which is found in Cavite. So, the official branch or the official name of the college is St. Scholastica's College, Manila, or SSC Manila in short. And SSC Manila is located in Leon Ginto Street, Taft Avenue, which is in Malate, Manila. And when you cross the street from the entrance of the school, you will find a convenience store called Uncle John's. And above that, there's a ladies' dormitory, which is also managed by SSC Manila. So, if you're interested in, renting a dorm, you can maybe, inquire there if they still have rooms and stuff. And we also have a neighboring school, which is St. Benilde. And, De La Salle's, main Manila branch is also walking distance from us. When you enter through the entrance of SSC, you will notice that there are these scanners. There's a huge metal detector scanner thing that you walk through, and there's also scanners for ID. So when your ID is officially verified and stuff like that, you will always need to tap your ID on the scanner for the recording of your entrance and exit of the school. It's your everyday routine when you enter and exit SSC campus. Upon entering, you will be tapping your ID on the scanner, and then you'll have your bags checked by the guards, and then you can go on your way to classes and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, when you are about to go out, you'll have your bags checked again by the guard, and then you tap your ID again for the recording of your exit. After you enter through, after having your bag checked, upon entering the halls, you will be seeing the registrar's office on the left side. On the other side, the side parallel to the registrar's office, that's the business office, the cashier, where you settle payments and stuff like that. Also, disclaimer, I can only speak based on my experiences as someone who has recently finished her freshman year of college, and I am taking the BS Psychology program of SSC Manila. Although a lot of the things that I will be discussing here are a general thing, general education subjects and classrooms and stuff like that. I guess this guide will be the most helpful for up-and-coming BS Psychology students for SSC Manila, but I'm sure a lot of these will also be helpful for those who are taking up or will be taking up other programs. So the first step of enrollment is the admission in through their online portal and stuff like that. You have to fill up the forms, and you have to choose your program, of course, and then wait for your login credentials through this thing called an Orange app. This is basically where you'll find your tuition, where you will be finding your grades later on, clearance if you have any missing requirements birth certificate or report card or whatever. This is also where you can find your enlistment of subjects. Now, unlike universities like UP, there is a fixed schedule for you. You don't have to decide on what time you want to take certain subjects or what certain subjects you want to take, and when. You basically have a fixed schedule for you that you will be following until that said semester ends. Also, unlike in universities like UP, where you will see in report cards 1.25 or whatever, in SSC report cards, you will be seeing the letter grading system with the highest being A. So it's like A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, and so on. And of course, the lowest being F. And each of those letters do mean something, which will be computed to get your QPA. So for example, A means 4.0, A minus means 3.7, B plus means 3.5, and so on. And after getting the Orange App credentials, you will be waiting for like an interview with admissions and stuff like that. I believe there were like 2 phases of the interview. I remember doing 2 phases of the interview. And then later on, when you actually go to campus, you have like the health checkup, which includes like x-ray and urinalysis and like a basic checkup with SSC's doctor. And then later on, you will be enlisting for your subjects and eventually like know what your schedule is going to be. And you will have to like get your ID picture, but you will get your ID right away. Well, not right away, because obviously they need to like print your ID card first, but you will need to like complete the requirements and your checkup steps first before you can be verified and validated. That's an important thing because you can't like your ID will not be registered by the scanner when your ID is not validated. So when you finish all of the steps in admission, in the health checkup, the ID, and every other requirement that there may be, you will proceed to the Student Affairs Office, where they will validate your ID. And at the bottom left of the ID, there will be a sticker for like each semester, so that like you know, and the system knows that, oh, it's this the first semester. In your ID, there will be of course the picture that you took, and then your full name, and then your program. So for example, mine is BS Psychology, or BSP as it's shortened, and then your ID number, and basically the ID that you get from after you get your ID picture taken. That's your ID for until you finish, until you graduate, basically. And along with having your ID validated, you will be receiving this thing from the Student Affairs Office known as the convocation card, or convo card as we call it, or like convo, which is basically a card where you will be recording all of the like important events that you're required to attend, and you will be graded based on the whether or not you attend these events or not. Because depending on the event, there will be like you'll be required to do like community service if you don't attend certain like events. But there are like circumstances where if you don't attend a certain convo event, then you can attend like a makeup convo event. So for example, if you don't attend like a certain seminar or something, then you can make it up for attending like a First Friday Mass. I'm not sure if that's still applicable or if that will still be applicable this year, but it was something that we could do back when I was a freshman. So don't worry if it's not the end of the world if you don't attend all of them. That's what I'm saying. I will say though, it was something that I used to panic about, like, oh no, I will have to miss this event, but it's a convocation event, like what do I do? Don't worry, there will be like events that you can attend to make up for missing the main convo event. But I guess if you miss convo activities like more than 3 times, then that's when you have to do community service. But in my freshman experience, I didn't really experience having to do community service when I miss like convocation activities, so don't worry. Also, here's a little fun fact. SSC Manila used to be an all-girls school, and even now it has this reputation among people that it's still an all-girls school. I mean, realistically, it's still mostly a girls' school, like its population is mostly girls, but they do accept male applicants, male students in all levels, all programs. So if you're a guy, you're a girl, and you want to enroll in SSC Manila, welcome. Feel free to join us in our little Scholastican community. And speaking of enrollment as well, while we're on the topic, they do have like a specific schedule for each year. I believe upcoming second year's enrollment schedule comes first, and then like third year, fourth year, and fifth year, and then like the freshies, upcoming first year students, and then like the irregular students and scholars. So those announcements, along with every announcement in SSC Manila, will be found in their social media accounts, which are on Facebook, Instagram, and they technically have a Twitter, but they're mostly active on Facebook and Instagram, as well as group chats in Messenger. So upon being officially part of the freshman students in SSC, expect to be part of like a huge group chat composing of all of the freshman students from all programs, along with the recent or like current members of the student council. And speaking of group chats, that's really something that you like have to brace yourself, because you will be forming. I mean, I guess it's something that we all expect at this point, but like brace yourself for the amount of group chats you're going to be in, and you're just in your first year of college. So like you'll be forming group chats with like I said, your entire batch of freshies plus the student council, and then you'll most likely want to create a group chat of just you guys, the entire batch, without the student council members. And then of course there's the section group chat, and then group chats with each of your like professors for each subject. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Also, I did mention scholars in the enrollment schedule. I myself am not a scholar, so I know very few about like the scholarships of SSC. I know there are like different kinds of scholars, like there's the financial scholar and stuff like that. And I've heard some things from like friends who are scholars, like there's a maintaining grade, and there's this thing that they're required to do called community service, where you have to complete like I believe 60 hours of community service, and it will all depend on where you'll be assigned. Like you can be assigned in the registrar's office, business office, vice president's office. It will all depend on the school. But other than that, I don't really know much about the scholarships, so I apologize about that. So here's where I'll get a little bit more specific, I guess, to the psychology program, but a lot of the subjects that I will be mentioning will be taken up by other programs as well, because they're Gen Ed subjects. So for the first semester of my BS Psychology program, I took up Eugenics 1 and NSTP 1. And then for Tuesday, it was Understanding the Self. Wednesday, it was Theology 1. Thursday, it was Purposive Communication. And then Friday, it was... Oh, Thursday was Purposive Communication and PathFit 1, which is PE. And then Friday was for Art Appreciation. So a lot of those are... Not a lot. All of those are Gen Ed subjects. And they are prerequisites to subjects that you will have to take in the second semester. Oh, some of them are prerequisites to subjects that you will have to take in the second semester. Now, I'm not sure if that's the exact schedule that you will also be following for upcoming BS Psychology freshies, but that was my schedule. And then for second semester, we took up Eugenics 2, NSTP 2. Tuesday was Manila Studies and Readings in Philippine History. Wednesday was Theology 2. Thursday was SDS, which is Science, Technology, and Society. And then Friday was PE, PathFit 2, and then Introduction to Psychology, which is like our very first major. So in the first semester, we didn't have any majors at all. They were all Gen Ed. And then second semester, we got our like official like introduction to having a major, which is Introduction to Psychology. And good luck with the ITP professor. I'm just kidding. Our ITP professor, if you're going to be getting the same professor as us, she's kind. She's really kind. She's friendly. She gives out snacks. Little fun fact. She does give out snacks, whether it's during lecture or when she asks us to do an activity, or like sometimes she would just bring this like Ziploc of like chips, or like a bag of chips that she bought during a trip, and it's something that I will miss dearly. I really love that she has that whimsy in her, and I'm sure that you guys will also enjoy having classes with her if she's still the same professor that you guys will be having for the second semester. But I really hope you guys do, actually. She's a really fun person in general. I love the activities that she gives to us. In terms of her lectures, they're generally easy to understand. When it comes to the way she gives us tests, she gives a lot of emphasis to essay questions, because she can get very specific with essays. Like there are certain keywords that you have to have in your essay for you to like receive the full points in the question. For example, if an essay question is worth like 5 points, for example, you have to have like a specific words that you have to have in order to get those 5 points fully. So for example, one of the questions that she repeatedly asks us throughout the semester was, what is psychology? And there's this specific like definition that that was basically ingrained into our minds at this point. Like, psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior, or something like that. You basically have to like have that in your that's basically like the introduction to the essay, and after that you can like add details like, oh, the term psychology was started back in the time of Plato and stuff like that, and pioneers of psychology include people like Sigmund Freud and B.F. Skinner and Pavlov and stuff like that, And even though we've moved past that like part of like the introduction to psychology in general, like your topic could be like behaviorism, for example, and then suddenly she's going to like surprise you like, hey you, what's psychology again? It's something that we had to be prepared. Oh, psychology is the scientific study of the mind and human behavior and stuff like that. It was something that like she used to do when like to make sure that you're like paying attention or like you remember past lessons. I forgot to mention this in the video, but SSC Manila also has a YouTube channel. In there, they have a campus tour. So if you want to have an idea of what inside SSC Manila looks like, you can watch that video. I will say though, the one thing that is different in that video versus the current look of the campus, I guess you could say, is the scanner. The ID scanner looks a bit different compared to what is seen in the video, but for the most part, it's all the same. So if you want to get a look of the campus, what it looks like, what the different rooms look like, that's a good place to start. So yeah, bye!
I've been waiting all my life.